Hello, everyone, and welcome to SWOSU Esports. Today, we're going to be doing SWOSU Gray versus UHD JV Blue. I don't know anything about I don't know anything about UHD, um, or their JV team, but we're going to be going on first game into Lijiang, which I know is a very good map for SWOSU Gray. Um, and also just a great map in general for all of our comps over here at SWOSU. Sorry if I sound out of breath. I'm just very exhausted, and I have falling greatly from a caffeine burnout right now. I've just been walking and pacing and everything. So it's been a day, especially with only a few days left until we get SWOSU gets to go over to the Overwatch LAN event over in Tulsa, which thank you all for inviting us out. And going to be getting some very exciting games in for that. But right now we're going to be talking about SWOSU Gray and their usual type of brawly type comp that they've been working on here. We're going to see how does UHD respond. That's going to be a big speed boost over onto point. That's going to be an amazing TP coming out from Ryan there. Got that live on stream just to see that view. But that's going to be a force for a fight down mid now. And it looks like EXO is going to go into Bastion form pretty early here. Tries to take down their Lucio, but not going to be able to get it. Going to get that Zarya a lot of charge. But will they be able to find a pick? No, not going to be able to find that pick. But they do find that rotate onto point. That's going to be a lot of charge on the Zarya, though, very early on. Mighty's going to have himself one heck of a time trying to fight this off. But they get him pretty low. Going to get a decent bit of damage off. That's going to be a pretty decent wall from UHD. And that's going to get down Pancakes. But May could also go down, but no, that's going to be the Zarya going on the back end. Going to be able to find one pick on the EXO, and that's going to be a total crumple now for SWOSU, as now everyone's going to have to fall right there. Going to give the point to UHD first. Very unfortunate TP from Ryan as well, but still going to be finding themselves not too bad of a first point. Going to have to go up against higher ults, but I think they can kind of get this through. They just need to find themselves a nice rotate. They have speed boost and they have soldier flank, but I think SWOSU has the greater brawl comp. So if they can just find themselves a nice opening here with the Zarya, that's a pretty decent amount of charge, and that's going to be early May wall, and that's also going to be a Bastion running down mid. Going to be a nice 70 charge, but that's going to be a big boop on the Mighty, though. Going to have to watch out. You're going to have to respect that boop, and that's going to be a Kitsune now as well for UHD, as they're just going to walk onto this point. I think, yeah, they're going to try and bump every single ult, 2 ults into that fight for UHD, but to keep that point alive for them, that was, I mean, you know, you might as well use them if you're not going to use them later. But now they're going to have to watch out here because this Lucio boop is going to be very, very oppressive for whenever they try to push in. And they're going to have to move in fast and keep it going. Now I do see EXO and Urt with ults here. But remember, Mighty, you got to be careful here. You don't want to push in too hard. Going to get a pretty decent amount of charge here. We're going to see the Bastion coming out here from EXO. Going to try and find one, get some damage. Going to get out SWOSU and be able to get out maybe the May here. That's going to be May freeze. That's a pretty good May freeze. But it's going to go now. That's a grab. Going to Coalescence, able to find one, find two. But that's going to be a big freeze for UHD onto SWOSU Gray. Oh my goodness. That is going to be a team kill for UHD onto SWOSU right there. 85% left on the point. Someone's going to have to touch. Is this going to be Wild Wolf having to touch here? 90%, 10 seconds left here. He's going to have to wall ride his way onto point here because no one else is going to be able to. And you're going to have to do beat here, but that's going to be a little bit too late onto the beat there. Going to have to use that a little bit earlier if you're wanting to engage. And that's going to be beat coming out from UHD. And that's going to be 3 down. But this is a big freeze coming out. Going to be able to find 1 freeze, 2 freeze. Going to be able to find a pretty decent freeze there, but Mighty's going to go down. It's just Pancakes left on the point, and I don't know if Wild Wolf is going to be able to get back in time. That's going to be a boop off. Is he going to be able to touch? No, he's not going to be able to find the point. And that's going to be round 1 going to UHD. JV Blue. Now, I want to say there's a few things that could have gone better in that round, and one of them is just the unfortunate, like, you had 2 fights there that were just so hard to win whenever you had Mighty get booped off on that one, and then Coach D, Wild Wolf just getting, you know, not able to use beat fast enough there, tries to get more into the point, but doesn't like thought he could get more leverage with that, but just no, he wasn't able to get forward with that. And now they're going to be switching it up, going for again for another brawl type comp, but this time Mighty going on his signature Ramatra now. That's going to be a nice TP. Wild Wolf does not take the TP, and that's going to be, again, an unfortunate wall ride there, too. Now we're going to see Pancakes going onto the Mei. This is looking like a pretty decent amount of damage, though, at the initial front, with Mighty able to get a nice bit of damage here. And same with EXO here, putting off a nice show with Reaper, but that's no Wraith form. You got to watch out there, buddy. You're going to have to watch out as this Mei will shoot you in the head, and that's Pancakes onto point trying to rush this, and we're going to see Ramatra form come out. Will he be able to get a decent amount of damage off? He is, but that's going to be a big wall. But they're going to be able to get over it like that and able to find the pick onto the Mei. Now that you have the ability to walk right now, they get the first point, and that's going to be a wall, but not going to be able to wall them off just yet, but they can keep walking as they are down, and that's going to be a nice little stagger there as well. 5-player kill streak, going to be able to get that team done. Going to get a reset here and 66% on the board for Mighty. And a nice ult coming up. Bang. That's a really quick ult coming out from ult as well. 90, 100%. And now Pancakes as well coming up on a pretty quick ult here soon as well. And not really too many big ults coming out here from UHD. But we're going to have to see. They're going to get some pretty decent amount of damage here. Going to get some poke. Now I want to see if are they going to engage with Mei ult here. That's going to be wall, but Urt's kind of in a sticky situation, but they're just going to push on it anyways, doesn't really care. Going to use ult here from Mighty, and he's going to get booped away. Going to have to keep pressing on it, going to be able to find 1, find 2, 3. Not going to be able to get the Sigma though, and going to have to back off. Great ult there from Mighty. Now going to have to reset here. 4 ults on the board for SWOSU, but 4 as well coming up for UHD. And both of them being support ults, and we got a Mei ult coming up here. But we do have a Mei ult in response as well, so we're going to see who can get this Mei ult first and who can get a better placement of it. Going to just do some poke damage here, and it looks like they notice that they're rotating now, going to get the full rotate. Will they be able to find a nice wall off here? He's waiting in the corner, waiting for the push. They just need to wait. If they can just wait here, wait for the push. And Mighty's going to press that, and that's going to be a wall. Is the wall going to come? There's the wall. Going to be able to do the wall right now, and that's going to be a freeze as well. This is last point. Going to be able to find 1, able to cancel the beat. A big beat cancel, but you're going to be fighting it really close here. 2 on point, just the DPS alive. Are they going to be able to get it? No, EXO goes down, and that's just going to be Pancakes trying to stall the point against this, and he's not going to be able to get it. That could have been the big thing they wanted right there. They could have won that point 99-0, but they just messed up just a little bit on the placement. The ability usage just being a little bit too aggressive. And that's going to be an aggressive wall. Going to have to use Mighty's form a little early here, but that's going to force out block. Now, can they engage with Coalescence here? I wonder if they're going to try and engage. They're kind of just taking a lot of damage here, kind of building their own ults up right now. That's a good wall. Going to be able to get forward, get some nice point pressure right here. And EXO going to find 3 right there from the back. That's going to be a big ult coming out from EXO. Are they going to be able to get this kill too? And there's a Reaper down, and there we go. Going to find themselves the team kill. Get themselves a nice team kill to end off that point. Going into round 3. Oh my goodness. Now, I will say this again. SWOSU Gray's just so, like, if they can just find their momentum, they can just hold down a point so well. But again, like, that wall placement and everything like that is just, you know, it's just like, you know, the ability usage from SWOSU Gray is something that is like, in blue as well. It's like there's always better usage for your abilities, especially with Mei and stuff. That it's kind of fun, you know, it's kind of hard sometimes to find the balance. But they're able to close that one out, and now we're going to see how are they going to do this. It looks like they're going to be getting a TP. A speed boost coming out from SWOSU Gray. Going to try and TP on the point as fast as they can, and that's going to be equal TP as well. And that's going to be a Zarya comp as well. You can't destroy that thing anymore. And they're going to be able to find themselves maybe some kills here. That's going to be 1 onto Lucio, and just an absolute laser show coming out here. Pancakes going in the microwave right now with the Symmetra, and that is going to be an absolute wipe. And he's going to miss the TP there too. That's another kill. Going to add them more time now. And going to get the first secure on this. A great secure as well. Getting 50%, 60% for EXO. That's looking like a great start to this round. Now, they did switch over to a Pharah, so you're going to have to watch out a little bit for this sky pressure, but they're setting up this brawl right now. They want to sit on this point. It looks like Wild Wolf also looking for a boop, but not going to be able to find it. You're finding that on a tank, not a support. And it looks like the Lucio going to go in, but that's a great wall coming out from EXO right there. An amazing wall to stop the Lucio from pushing in. Now they're going to have to play this really safely now. They don't have speed boost to really engage with, and if they get walled off again, that's another death coming out. Like, they're down their Lucio right now, but you still want to play as careful as you can. Gets the boop onto the Zarya as well, getting a little bit too pushed forward there, and that's also no Mayfreeze as well. Are they going to be able to find that push forward onto it? No, it looks like they're not going to be able to push forward on that. But still, that's going to be a great stall as well. Going to get to at least 60% here without a fight. And also going to come up here on ults. They're going to be a little bit earlier on Moira ult, but that doesn't really matter when you have Wall coming up here and also Mayfreeze. And that could also be a big kill, but no, they're not going to be able to finish off the Pharah right there. And honestly, with SWOSU here, you have a lot of great ults coming up here. If you can really find yourself a big win in this fight, you could really just use any ult you want here, and that's going to be one ult, but that's going to be an absolute block off with Wall right there, and that's also going to be Blizzard as well committed. That is 3 ults committed from SWOSU Gray, and they're able to find one onto Zarya, but that's a big freeze for UHD. Able to find 2 right there in trade. But will they be able to find another? There's another ult coming out, and they're just stalling this point. They just need to stall. That's 80, 90%. And they committed, oh my goodness. That was a big freeze from UHD, a great response to SWOSU. But you do have Mighty's ult coming up soon, but they do have Beat to respond. 93%, and it looks like they're going to try and switch up the momentum really quickly here with Pancakes going on to the Ashe here instead. But now they're rocking a little bit more of a solid like brawl comp here. They're running really bunkerish here. So I wonder how they're going to play this. Gonna try and find that Dynamite. Dynamite not gonna find anyone. Wonder how they're going to get this. Mighty going to go in, maybe with ult here. If they can find this Lucio early pick, they could kind of just walk right now. Or if they can find a good wall right now, it'd be very big. They just need to figure out where are they going to push. Time is ticking. And there you go. There's going to be Bastion Form. They're going to try and immediately block that off. After that Bastion Form is done, you might want to try and rush in. And we're going to see a big Dynamite coming in, going to speed boost. That's going to be 2. And is that going to be a boop onto the Bastion? That's going to be a big double boop from Wild Wolf there. Going to be able to find 2. Are they going to be able to find 3? Mighty just going to be holding right click here. And that's going to be a big Dynamite as well. As Pancake's just going to be shooting down mid here. But that's going to be a Zarya grab. But it doesn't really matter as Wild Wolf finds himself a 3rd boop on this point. Going to be able to stall them. And I don't think they get a touch. I think that might be it. And then we go, SWOSU going to take first game against UHD JV Blue. Absolute big boops coming out there from Wild Wolf right there, saving the point with a double support ult right there. Wild Wolf getting that amazing double boop, even into the boop later. That boop just saved them that entire point so much. That was an amazing boop. Oh my goodness. Great first game coming out from SWOSU. I would say there's always improvements to be made, and I think like, oh my goodness, I need to collect myself. Oh my goodness, caffeine. I really need to stop taking caffeine. I'm way too much energized of a person as it is. But I would say great stuff from SWOSU right there. Learning to really, like, they waited that point to get their abilities up and, like, bait out Bastion Form again. Like, because right there, whenever you, like, just sitting there and, you know that Bastion's about to pop his turret form, you know that's something you can't really walk into. And you kind of have in the back of your mind that they're going to have, like, ults to counter yours. So you want to kind of, like, play around those abilities. And that's what SWOSU did expertly. And then they were in a little bit of a tough spot. That was 2 support ults from UHD JV Blue. But But Wild Wolf just caught them off guard. They didn't know that Lucia was just gonna run right through and just get a big boop on them right there in the middle, like near the back of the point. They thought they were safe, but no. And that's what won them the fight right there. Great stuff from Wild Wolf. Great stuff from SWOSU Gray. I'm interested to see what they're going to do on Escort. Since Escort is a little bit like I know they've been practicing dive a lot recently. I have not been I've been very unlucky to not really see too many of Gray's games. I think I've only seen a few games from Gray, but I mean, from what I can already see so far, wait, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize what was playing in the background. I forgot Tank is still playing. Um, yeah, the Cowboy Bebop collab is very nice. I really enjoy it. The skins are very beautiful. But I think like overall, Gray is doing a great job. Um, they going to Circuit. Oh boy, Circuit's gonna be a very interesting map for Gray. I think I would say the Circuit. I'd say if I had to rank the escort maps, first would be Rialto, and then next would be Circuit, because it's kind of hard like some escort maps because obviously I think hybrid is the best, but I think Circuit really like shines whenever it comes to these types of comps where just it is just sniper alley, and something that SWOSU is really good at is poke. Um, Mighty's signature tanks, always got that Sigma, always got that Ramatra. They got that signature poke, the signature brawl, and he's been working on dive a lot recently. So the monkey, the diva, like it's been very amazing to see like SWOSU Gray just been evolving over this last semester. And also the year before, like when I first came here, SWOSU Gray as well. Like the majority, like three of the members on SWOSU Gray are the same members that were there a year ago, and I'm glad to see that they've just constantly been trying to up their game, constantly been doing really well, and even moving up divisions. It's very excited to see, and even the new people that have come on, like Wild Wolf and EXO, like seeing them come onto the scene as well to help bolster our roster as well, and seeing their excellent performance on top of that has been really inspiring for the rest of our teams as well. Also, everyone on Overwatch just gets along with each other very well. We're really nice. Like we're all like are pretty cool with all each other. Pretty cool with one another. And now we're gonna be going over to Circuit. I mean, I talked about it earlier. Circuit's kind of a very interesting map. Like, I mean, it is very like first point is very sniper, very hit scan dependent. Like you have the long hallways, the long archways. Like this bridge right here and this statue sees so much play more than any part of the map that it's actually insane. Like I mean, as a person who doesn't really like hit scan that much, I I don't like this map as much, but that's because, I'm a Genji one trick that is trash. So that's just me being me. Um, and then also I just really don't find poke as fun of a comp. But for SWOSU Gray, this is like the best map for them. Like hands down. Like if you want a good map for SWOSU Gray, it would be Circuit. Like Circuit and Rialto are really good maps. Like I know like Route 66 was also not really bad map as well for SWOSU. Um, but it's like I want to see how are they going to play with this type of pokish comp. Like because I haven't seen them play in forever. I want to see who's going to poke who. Who's gonna outpoke who. And we're gonna immediately see Pancakes. Ooh, get a little low there. Gonna have to watch out. Gonna be able to aggressively peek a little bit more here with the shield. Tries to find a headshot on the Mei. Gonna have a little bit of trouble. Gonna get Lucio really weak though. And that's also no Mei ice block. Gonna get a nice headshot, but going to get headshot in turn as well from the Mei. Gonna have to watch out as he's gonna get Mighty's gonna get booped from the top, but that's gonna be a big pick onto Lucio, but going to trade now. As we see the Sigma getting pretty weak right there. But they do have Ana. Gonna try and find a rock right there, but not gonna be able to find it. There's gonna be you're gonna be down both your DPS here on this poke. You're gonna have to back up really quickly here. But we do see Ryan is back, but you have to be careful right now. If you know, Widow gets a lot of value off of getting picks with headshots, but they're running both poke as well. So you kind of got to be careful when you peek and when you don't peek, and that's going to be a great pick onto the Lucio, but then Exo's going to trade right after. Pancake's going to have to back up a little bit, and Mighty going to get really low, going to get rocked as well, but going to be able to play around it a little bit. Going to get a nice Discord Orb onto Sigma right there. Keeping that Discord Orb on Sigma is really good. Going to put that Discord Orb onto Mei as well. Pancake's able to find another pick onto the Ashe, and that's going to be no Ice Block as well for Mei. but Mighty's having a rough time trying to find any kills right here, and that's going to be a Blizzard coming out from UHD, and that's going to be one, and also a Nano on top of that. I think that's going to be the point. Yeah, Mighty's having a rough time finding any picks right now. He's just having a rough time aiming, trying to find these kills, getting them so weak but not able to finish them off. But we do see ult coming up here for both Mighty and for EXO, Wolf, and Urt. So this is ult coming up pretty quickly. The game hasn't really been going on too long, so there is a lot of time for UHD to really push forward and do stuff. And UHD also coming up on ult soon as well. We're going to have to see, are they going to commit early, or are they going to kind of wait for these? And that's going to be a Mei wall, but that's going to be a nice wall on top of that for Pancakes. That's going to be Immortality Field, accidentally thrown out into the middle. That's going to be Bob committed, but Bob commits right back, and that's going to be a big pick as well onto the Ashe and onto Bob. Going to be able to melt that pretty quickly. Going to just use Flux right here. That's big. They get beat out of that. That's a really big beat. And now, but Mighty's going to have to watch out because that is beat. You can't be playing too aggressive, and that's going to be, he has no rock as well. So that's going to be a double pick from the Sigma ult right there, as Erd fell down earlier in the fight, not going to be able to transcend that. That was a really good push from SWOSU Gray, but then just not really noticing the ults coming up. Decides to use rock early before the Sigma had ult, like when the Sigma had ult. Just having that, having that knowledge in the back of your head is really important when you're doing the Ditto. Is like, does this Sigma have ult, or does it not have? Does he not have ult? And also noticing like who's alive, who's not alive. It's like if you had like Erd alive right there, you didn't need to worry too much about it. But and that's gonna be pretty low, gonna get really low. But they do commit window here, going to have to force him off angle. And is this gonna be a big ult? Nice, a big ult from Erd, going to keep them all in the fight right here. Going to have to force him a backup though, because that's an Ashe up top that's kind of sniping your back line. But Mighty's going to have to barely live, but that's going to be a big wall coming out from UHD. Going to take out Mighty right there. And they're going to eat Blizzard on top of that, UHD. Oh my goodness. SWOSU having such a rough time against UHD right now. Not going to be able to find the Blizzard right there that they need. And now 3.5 minutes on the clock, and Wild Wolf going down pretty early in the fight right here. You're really just trying to find any picks, but no, that's going to be a pick on the EXO as well. You're down your DPS, and you're running in. That's going to be a Nano on top of that, and that's going to be Sigma ult as well. But you do have Moira as they try to touch. You're going to try and stall this point as long as you can. You do not want to touch right now. You want to trade touches right now, and that's Wild Wolf going to go down. EXO has a recall, going to use recall right there. That's going to be beat as well. And that's going to be a switch over to the ball, trying to stall as long as they can. EXO having a rough time here, really trying to find anything. That's going to be a big orb, though, going to get a lot of damage off. But Mighty's going to go down. Going to be able to find one pick, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Ert taking a lot of damage as well, and that's going to be Bob committed. 2 minutes, 50 seconds was a great hold, but you do realize they just have two big ults that they can just keep going there. The touch after touch, the ball was a good swap, but they just kept layering on the point when they could have separated and like put people in and then come in and come out. I know it was a very panicky like type of thing, but like during those situations, a lot of teams usually just like decide to just throw caution to the wind and just say touch point, touch point, touch point, touch point. Where if you have like, let's say like you have Mighty go Ball, Ball lives a long time against their comp. Like they have Zen, but Zen like if you just play like very like roundabout, like let's say like Mighty touches with Ball, then he can just roll out and then just come back and get the Discord orb off of him. And then you can have like EXO touch with Tracer or Pancakes touch with Tracer, and then they can get the Discord orb, and then they can like recall out, and then Ball can touch again, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But it looks like they just just had so much of a struggle right there trying to keep that pressure, especially after the first round being such an impressive push that they didn't really know what to do. Now I'm going to be going over to the mixed dive here, as Mighty's going to be going onto the Winston. I would say Winston is good for this, if they can just figure out how to get onto Zenyatta and Ana. Because this is a very, very diveable team comp that UHD is running. So if they can find the jump onto them, it'd be very simple. That's going to be Discord Orb. You want to kite that as much as you can. He's able to kite that, going to get a nice jump, but going to sadly miss it just barely. And they're going to have to back off a little bit of that. Going to get rocked, but that's honestly not that bad. Going to be able to just get this card push under. And going to get a nice dive. Ash is going to get very weak. Are they going to be able to get the kill? No. As well, we're going to get up there. And again, misses the jump up top. But you do notice that Zenyatta is behind you. If you can get that, going to get a nice kills here. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Ana is going to be the last one to dive. That was a total crush. And going to get a team kill for SWOSU right there. I mean, I would say like that was a good push, but then like I don't think like UHD was really prepared for like what to do there, because their team is very diveable, and SWOSU was just able to collapse in on their healers and just collapse into their entire team without much trouble. And it looks like UHD notices that they're running a little bit more of a dive and just going to switch over to the Maga, which absolutely decimates Winston. But we're going to have to see how they do this. Just kind of playing poke here, trying to get your ult charge up. Going to try and rotate over to the right, going to get nade out. Tries to get his pulse bomb, but that's going to be a lot of damage, as Maga's just going to mow him down. And we see Pancakes here trying to find any kills, but not, just going to accidentally pass the Ana up, going to break his ankles as Pancakes tries to get out now. But able to find one pick. There you go, going to use recall as well. But you're going to watch out here. You're at 79. It looks like they decided to leave him alone. We see Mighty able to find one pick, but going to get very weak here as Maga's just shooting him down. They are down both heals. It looks like we're going to hear an EXO ult come out here. Going to try and put down as much damage as they can. Going to find one, find two. Going to find three here. Big kills coming out there, as well as Mighty able to finish up the dive. UHD just not really finding good target priority right now, as like they're just kind of squirming around as they let Pancake and EXO kind of just live for free the whole time, allowing SWOSU to really just do whatever they want, have like Mighty come back and then just do whatever they want. And now it's deciding to switch over to the Mei instead. And that's going to be Mei Freeze done as well. That's going to be a lot of damage, but Zarya going to take out one as they're going to commit Transcendence. Going to have to back out there now. And going to have to watch out as that's Discord Orb. Going to get a nice cleanse though. Just keeping up the damage, they're going to miss the Mei wall. But that's going to be sights committed. You're going to have to watch out for that. But EXO able to take out one in that. Going to just go for the dive. Going to ult on top of that. And just start swinging as they get 1, 2, 3, 4 kills here. And Also, Mighty's just kind of pushing forward. Does have, as we see here, also a big stagger onto May right there. Now they're going to have to watch out here. They're going to try and just push in here. We see Earth with ult, Wild Wolf with ult, and they can find themselves another pick here. That's a big thing to get out of Wraith form. And we do see Pancakes with Pulse, but not going to be able to get the Pulse off. But we do see Exo find Weak, able to get one. That's going to be Immortality Field out as well. He's just going to be able to shoot one, shoot him again. That's going to be Bubble down as well, and that's going to be SWOSU out as well. They commit Coalescence if they find this pick. And there we go, Exo again, finding these picks on the high ground, able to find so many picks this round. If they can just get this May and Reaper out of the equation right now, there's a Reaper TP onto point, and they get Immortality Field out as well. If they can just break Immortality Field, and there we go, Kiriko, no abilities, going to TP on the point. Exo doing so much damage right now as they just keep walking on the point. There we go, Reinhardt now just going to be walking on the point, but I think this is just going to be it. Bastion on the point. Not really many characters that stall, and that's going to be 2.5 minutes for SWOSU. Exo just shooting from above, just looking at the shooting range, just bang, 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 bang. Just shooting at them, no one looking at him as he's just shooting them in the back. And that's going to be round 2 down for SWOSU. Now, I wonder what... I don't remember if they attacked first or defend first. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is very, very intense games coming out here. But SWOSU Gray doing a really great job and just using like everything they can to their advantage right now with like this type of thing where Exo and Pancakes literally just don't exist to the enemy team. Like they are like cosmetics to the enemy team, and then they can just like, you know, just shoot at them. Like, you know, and Mighty as well, just getting these like dives in where like they just don't know what to do, and they end up just missing up their priority targets and allowing SWOSU to really just walk on them the entire time, walk on the supports. But now they don't really have a very diveable backline this time, except for, I guess, Baptiste. So we're going to have to see how UHD is going to adapt to this now, and SWOSU running a little bit of a brawly comp here instead of the poke. Going to be holding really close here instead. That's going to be a Bastion though, so you're going to have to watch out for that definitely. But if you're Exo, you kind of just get to sit here and just spray at their backline for free and just charge up your rail. And Pancake's able to find a big pick on the backline, but you do got to watch out. That is no Wraith form for you, and you might die here. But Pancake's able to find the pick as well on top of that onto the Reaper, and just going to be able to put off so much damage. Going to have to back up a little bit though, and that's going to be a pick onto Wild Wolf as they just got too aggressive on that push. You had the pick on the healer, and then you decided to push even more, and that's going to cost you. And Pancakes again as well just kept pushing, and that's going to be what would have turned into a great fight into an absolute fall, as they kind of just through. Like, I mean, there was like, you know, they had two picks right there, but then the Immortality Field, they just messed up the target priority and just couldn't. They went too deep and just couldn't get out. But that doesn't mean that this round is over yet. They do have another chance. 79% though onto that Bastion ult. Going to have to watch out here. That's Bastion form. Mighty in a little bit of a sticky situation here. Going to try and push forward, but that's no abilities coming out from Mighty. So he's kind of in a rough situation as you're an Orisa without abilities, as you're just going to get mowed down from up front. Exo able to get a pick out though before it's over. 25, and you do have ults coming up here now, but ults are a little bit more in UHD's favor. But if they can find this pick on the Moira, that'll be so big. Moira just kind of sitting around that corner, and they try to walk on it. Moira no fade, no abilities. Tries to find the pick, but not gonna be able to get it. You do have ults coming out here though, and that's gonna be Bastion ult. You're gonna have to watch out for that. That's gonna be Bastion ult, and Pancake's just running up behind. May be able to find it, but no, he doesn't find it. Gonna have to get out of there a little bit, and decides the Bastion ult just down main and going to fall for it. We do see Exo ult here. Tries to find it, but not going to be able to find any picks with it, as UHD is just going to commit even more ults to their fight. We do see Erd commit Coalescence, but that's just not going to be it. a very aggressive front forward ult there from Pancakes that, like, I noticed the flank, but whenever you're playing against a comp like this, Baptiste, it does too much healing, and Immortality Field is really just going to shut down any flanks that you really want to do with that character. You do have Mighty ult here, and they do have Window, so you're going to have to be careful on where this window is going to go. You want to push forward, and there we go. That's going to be Kitsune coming out quick. Pancake's able to find one, and that's going to be that's going to be one thing out from there. Now they're going to be going down two, and that's going to be a big old skadoosh. Able to find 2, 3, and there we go. Going to clean it up. Now SWOSU just, oh my goodness, I'm so frustrated up here. SWOSU Gray just bumbling so much on these fights, like, but still able to pick it up at the very end. I think if SWOSU Gray can just play this out very slowly, I think SWOSU has the better dive and the better comps. If they can just focus on, like, winning the fights they did earlier, if they can keep that up, the only time they really got stopped was on second point, I think. So I think SWOSU can legitimately win this if they just find themselves great dives like they used to, and find them, like, but the problem is here that they don't have the same diveable backline. There's no Zen Ana, and now they have mobility options. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult for SWOSU Gray to really find a good dive on the back line. But you never know. Baptiste does have a little, like if you want to go by survivability, like, Moira has extremely good survivability. Baptiste is very good at survivability. So this is going to be a lot more of just looking out for abilities instead of just going out for straight picks. So we're going to have to see here, as well as them running a Bastion and a Reaper. This is going to be looking very tough to dive here for Mighty. Going to get a nice damage off. Going to get a nice orb off too. And we see Pancakes immediately already in the back line. Trying to find anything there. A Mighty going to try and dive in on the Reaper. Going to force out Wraith form pretty early. But that's going to be Bastion form as well. That's going to be Immortality down, but that's going to be a big SWOSU, as they're going to be able to find 3 with that. But going to get very weak, going to fall there, and that's going to be a total domination there. But still able to find 2 picks in the middle of that is not bad. If they can regroup really quickly here, they could find themselves in a pretty good position. They need to find this dive early though. If they can get an early dive here, they could win this. And it looks like they're trying to push their advantage really quickly right now. As we see Reaper trying to just put pressure, and that's going to force him off high ground now. But now the Bastion's back, and that's going to be a dive, but you do not have bubble. You are dead. You do not dive without bubble against this comp, or else you will fall. And that's going to be another team fight falling from UHD. At this point, you want to find, like, you got to mix it up now. Like, this is not going to work against this team comp unless you force out abilities. And right now, this is kind of just shutting you off. And going to be running a Mercy Lucio, which unironically is very awful. But we're going to see how SWOSU Gray is going to make this work with the Pharah instead. Kind of shutting down a lot of UHD's main point here. And that's going to be a lot of damage coming out. Going to get a lot of damage, but going to have to watch out, as that's going to be Bastion form as well. But a great boop coming out from there from Pancakes. Just going to absolutely shut that down. But you got to watch out here. UHD has ults, but if you can find staggers, that'll be perfect. And we see Pancakes here trying to find some damage off on this Reaper. Going to force out Wraith form pretty early. Going to have 90% on ult. Oh, but that's going to be a big kill right there. But going to get a nice res. Going to have to watch out here, as that's Bastion form. Going to have to play it very safely. And that's going to be Coalescence on top of that. Are they going to be able to find any ults to commit? They only have 2 ults to really commit, as they had to make swaps earlier. And that's going to be 2 ults coming out from UHD, and only Pharah ult coming out. They do have Mercy ult, and they're going to pop Mercy ult. It is now a 2v5, but they find one. Maybe find a third. But no, that's going to be it. UHD going to take game 2. All right. I'm not going to cap. I'm not going to cap. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. We all have our rough games. I think SWOSU Gray, if you had to take anything from this game, it is ability usage, and really that's it. I think like there were some great fights that I think SWOSU Gray did really great on, and I think there was two fights in particular that the ability usage was just very very poor from Gray. I think like people don't realize like that Reaper is really really good when you have Ray form. And whenever and people this isn't 2018 anymore where you can just kind of you can shoot their back line with Reaper and then just Wraith out and like nothing happens. Like people nowadays like look at Reaper and like okay, that is an ability I can exploit now. And that is something that I think SWOSU Gray needs to realize whenever they do play Reaper is that they can't just Reaper ult after fade or Reaper ult in the middle like of their entire team without them being a distraction. Like EXO did a great job of that earlier with the Reaper ult, but I think Pancakes got a little overzealous with it and decided to be a little bit too aggressive with the Reaper ult, and it ended up like costing them the fight. On top of them also like having Mighty not be aware of the Sigma ult as well. But it happens to everyone. I think everyone has like things that like whenever you're in the middle of a game, you're not really thinking about like all the time. Like you want to be thinking about, but like it just kind of goes to the wayside whenever you're focused in. You kind of think, oh, that will be someone else. Like will be pointing that out, or someone else's job is that. Um, which you know you have people on your team that are usually shot callers and stuff, so there are people that should be thinking that, but just as a subconscious thing, everyone should be thinking about their ults. Everyone should be thinking about their stuff. But I think going into this next match, I think one thing is just focus on your abilities, focus on everything you're doing, and I think they'll do great. Um, and UHD has been doing a pretty decent job at their ability usage and keeping their stuff going. Um, I will say UHD has been giving like SWOSU Gray a lot of leniency with the dives. Um, and I think like both teams have their own struggles. So this is very good to see like a very even match coming out from both teams right now. I thought I was going to be able to go to the grill after this and eat, but I might be having Brahms again for the second time. Maybe. It looks like they're talking. And it looks like we're going to be going into Suravasa for game 3. Um, I think Suravasa is like the best of the two Flashpoint maps. I wish they would add more. I really did. I really do wish they had add more, but it just be what it be, you know. Like, I mean, like one thing about Flashpoint that I really like is just how quick and fast paced these matches can be, because you do not run poke on this game mode. This game mode is not poke. This game mode is brawl and dive to the maximum. You are messing people up 24/7 in this game mode, and that's something that I really appreciate and really like. Um, and I think that would go really, really well with the comps that SWOSU's Gray's been running. I think as well, like just this map in general, just goes like everyone on the team really like enjoys this map. Like I know I do. Like I really like this map, and I think Flashpoint as a game mode as a whole has just grown on me so much more than any of the other game modes. But we're gonna see a dive comp coming out from SWOSU Gray instead of a brawl comp. I would be expecting a lot more of a Ramattra brawl comp on this, but I guess they've been running a lot more dive recently, so maybe that is true. We're gonna see Pancakes gonna be running the Tracer, trying to get a little bit of poke on their backline here. I mean, that's what Tracer usually does, trying to just pepper them. And we see EXO just shooting a wall. That's going to be a nice ability to get out early here. Going to get a nice orb as well, and that's going to be a nice dive. Going to get SWOSU out pretty early. Going to lose point, but not really too bad if they can find themselves a pick here. And it looks like they will find 2 right there. Going to get a nice double pick. And going to get Kiriko really weak too. And that's going to be 3. And they can just get keep Mighty alive, which I don't think they can because that's going to be Ramattra, but I think they still win this point. If they can just find this pick onto Ramattra here, and there we go, going to find the pick. 40% though still for UHD. Gonna be a lot of percentage in this game mode. That is an entire team fight right there, and a little more. So you're gonna have to play this very safely if you're SWOSU right now, because you're gonna have to watch out here. Because SWOSU, like you have point. But that 42% really going to matter a lot later on. And Pancakes kind of just sitting here chilling, waiting for a push in. Farah kind of getting a little too aggressive though from UHD, and that's going to be a big pick coming out. I don't think they're going to commit Pulse Bomb here early though, and it looks like they're just going to use Ramattra ult though, trying to push in onto Wild Wolf. Going to be able to find a pick on the Wild Wolf too, and that's going to be a big Winston ult from Mighty. But that's going to be a miss as well from the Pulse Bomb. That's going to be a very, very unfortunate fight for SWOSU, as they committed 2 ults, but not going to be able to find any kills with them. But to be fair, they did commit 2 ults as well, so it was a fair trade. Tank ult for tank and DPS ult for tank and DPS ult. But the thing is here that they have 2 support ults and you do not. Actually, no, I think they committed beat as well. That's so unfortunate. Now EXO is going to really have to pop off here with this ult, or might be a lost point for SWOSU here. But he's just going to get direct shot in the face, you know, from Rocket, and that's going to be, I think that's going to be point, unless we can get a big ult here from Urt, and there we go. That's going to be ult coming out from Urt. They're going to try and see if they can find any ults with it. That's going to be a big boop, though, from Wild Wolf to try and get them off the beat. But I don't think that's going to be enough, as that's just going to be too much pressure. Urt finding a lot of damage, though. 1, 2. EXO able to come back with the ult, though. Able to find 2. But they need to find 1 more. This Pharah is staying alive, and you're not going to be able to find the kill onto the Pharah, and that's going to be it right there. Just the shots. The miss of the shots is just too unfortunate right there. Man, that is so unfortunate. The aim just couldn't come through. But to be fair, they did commit both support ults there. But we're going to have to see how SWOSU Gray is going to push with this now. Going to be running EXO onto the main instead, going a little bit more brawly, but they do have both DPS ults, and you're going to be trying to walk into this with basically nothing. So, but that's going to be a bad Pharah ult, very bad Pharah ult from UHD, and that's just going to be a full walk forward now. But they do have Mei ult, so you're going to have to play around that still. You do have Wild Wolf ult coming up here soon. That's going to be a boop. Is that going to be a kill? No, it's not going to be a kill. They do get points, but they do find another kill. But that's going to be a boop onto EXO, though. But he's going to be able to kite the ult a little bit here. Tries to find a boop themselves, but that's going to be a big dynamite. Going to be able to find 2 right there. But I think this might be still a lost point from SWOSU, I think. Yeah, Mighty's the only one left on point with Urt. And I don't think they're going to be able to find themselves another pick. Able to find a pick onto the DPS, or onto the tank, but I think that fight, it lasted way too long. That's going to be at least 70%. One fight. This is actually going to be last fight for the point. So you only get 2 team fights in this game mode. And that was a very long first team fight with Thing. So now you're gonna have to fight for your life for this one. We do have 2 ults here, but they have Ramatra, and that's gonna be a very big oppressive ult. You only have 10 seconds left to get a nice push onto this point. And that's gonna be a very good first pick though. Are they gonna be able to push in? They use Bomb very early. They try to wall it off. And will they commit anything else? There we go, going to commit the Orisa ult. Going to try and just keep this pressure up as Exo's Bob is just going to keep the pressure up on the point, and that's going to be capture. Going to be able to trade ult for ult there. Pancake having to use Bob and Mighty having to use Orisa, but we do still keep the Coalescence on board for the Coalescence for UHD. We're going to have to see here how is SWOSU Gray going to answer this. Going to get a nice dynamite. Playing up top, going to get a little weak. Going to have to back off. As May is still just shooting down mid. Going to get Wild Wolf pretty weak. Oh my goodness, Exo taking a lot of damage right there. Going to have to use heal very, very early right there. Going to get a nice wall though. Good, really good wall. As they're going to try and wall him off, but they're not shooting at the Mei at all, as the Mei was just kind of sitting there the entire time. Though Dynamite going to be able to find one, and that's going to be a big beat as well from Wild Wolf and Erd as well, committing Coalescence as well. And this is just a big man brawling on the Pancakes right here. Not going to be able to shoot the Dynamite to get the damage off, but there we go. See, still have Mighty and everyone on board right now. But going to have to try and push him off point, but I think they have too much healing. Again, just kind of focusing down. Will he be able to get ult here, though? I think he will, but I don't know. They have a little bit too much. Oh, not going to be able to press Q just in time, as we do see Exo have ult as well. Such a close round right there. Oh, my goodness. Such a close round, but just unfortunately just not up in the ult economy. Just struggling in the ult economy right there. If that beat didn't come out from UHD, that could have been a point. But SWOSU's just been losing all these initial fights so far. It is 0-2. This is last point if SWOSU can't find themselves a great opening right now. And we see Pancakes still on the Ash. Gonna try and find himself a Dynamite. Not gonna be able to hit it though. And we see Mighty as well keep having this Orisa ult. If he can find himself a great push forward on here, he could find himself 4 people. Gonna try and find a spear down mid. And again, UHD just kind of holding down point. We do see a pick onto the far up, but that's going to be a trade for Ert. There's going to be a freeze on the point. Very good freeze, actually, but that's just not going to be, like, enough, as they're just going to commit Ramatra ult on top of that and going to try and stall the point as long as they can since they did have it. But that's going to be a very big committal for Bob, and not going to be able to get the kill right there yet. But we do see, oh my goodness, this Bob, though, is doing so much work. As we do see Ert just trying to fight it out on point right now. If I can switch over to his POV, but they're going to get point eventually right there. Still, I think they're up right now, actually. If they can get this push, I think they can actually get this point, actually. But no, it looks like they decided to stabilize instead. I mean, to be fair, they do have 3 ults to none. So this is going to be a very big switch up. We're going to see the Exo switch over to Bastion here instead. Almost finds himself a pick. Going to get a lot of damage off, but not going to be able to finish a kill there. I do see Pancakes on the flank with Cassidy, though. Tries to find some damage, but that's going to be a lot of ults coming out from UHD. Going to commit far ult as well. That's going to be all 3 ults right there. Pancakes able to find a pick, but not going to be able to find the third. And Exo going to have to get out there really quickly. I think he might die here. Nope, going to be able to live just barely and keep himself alive for the next time. But this is last fight here. 10 seconds on the board. You do have beat, but they have beat as well. How are they going to commit it here? They need to find something quick here, and that's going to be early Ramatra form coming out from Mighty. Going to try and find himself as much damage as he can before he has to hold block, and that's going to be a lot of damage as well on top of that. That's going to be beat committed, and we already committed beat as well, but that's actually, I think it got beat canceled. As now that's going to be UHD winning 3-0. And not going to be able to get the touch. UHD going 2-1 right now against SWOSU Gray. I mean, as I say again, it's always like these these initial fights have just been like has just been such unfortunate like fights for SWOSU Gray. Like the target priority has just been so over the place, and not able to find as effective flanks or as effective walls. Like it really just UHD has doing the just been running the rotation on the abilities and just kind of like putting SWOSU Gray in a bad mental with like those fights, just always getting the pressure on the point first and always just having the pressure there when SWOSU Gray just can't find it. SWOSU Gray just kind of just put into a fight where they have the ability like to find a pick, but just but then like the pick is right there, but then they just like all collapse in, and then like you just can't really do anything. Like during that fight, like Mighty just tried to touch point, and they still had a little bit of time, so they could have had someone else touch point, like Wild Wolf, but I think like Mighty had no choice to really. He had to push on there, anyways, to get on. Um, but having to commit Ramatra form really early there as well is really unfortunate. And then on top of that, like whenever you're doing Ramatra form in that type of fight, like how do I say it? Like Ramatra form in that type of fight where it's like you just want to, this is the last fight, you want to keep the fight alive, you just hold block. You just hold on for dear mercy. You do not move. You are a unmovable wall, and you keep as much HP as you physically can, because if you start punching, they'll start looking at you, and then they'll start looking at you and they're going to melt you. Um, and again, and then having and that opens up Exo and Pancake to really like focus on like dealing damage and putting on killing pressure for the rest of the team. Um, and as well, like if you take damage, like but in the block and not die, then you can also, I think Wild Wolf could have gotten ult there as well and get themselves um, the ult charge they needed for beat early. But but that's all in VOD review. You'll just find that in VOD review. Oh, I gotta get my water. Ugh. But we're gonna have to see how this map goes. Gonna be going to Coliseo. That's the best map, I think, for SWOSU Gray out of the push. Esper is weird. I mean, like if you're going to choose between Coliseo and Esper, I would definitely choose Coliseo because that map is way better. But I think it's just like Esper is like weird because Esper is a lot of dive, where I think Coliseo is just mainly brawl. Like it is a very brawl heavy map, so I think SWOSU Gray will be a lot more comfortable on that type of map. But this is going to map number 4. Looking a little rough right now for SWOSU Gray after that 0-3, but I think they can still pull it back. It's not over until it's over, baby. And we're gonna have to see how Gray is going to adapt to that, and how are they going to respond to the enemy comp. Like, because they were running a very basically the same variation of a comp that SWOSU usually runs, except they started running a Pharah. But I mean, to be fair, the Pharah kind of like, in that sense, the Pharah kind of like gave pressure, but it wasn't really like the type of pressure you would want from a Pharah. Like the Pharah just like stood down main and just shot, and then didn't kill anyone, or put enough kill pressure. Like they would shoot the tank, and then no one else. um, and then like the few times that they did shoot someone else, it was just very unfortunate. Like EXO just was just in an unfortunate position, and like my and like Ert was in an unfortunate position. But it looks like they're just kind of talking everything over right now. Just kind of trying to figure out what to do here, what their plan is. Yeah, probably talking with Riz and trying to figure out what to do here. Oh, I guess they are ready. We're gonna have to see it. Let's see. Let's see it, SWOSU Gray. Let's lock in. You got this, Reed. Good stuff. Keep it going. Alrighty. We're going to be going to Coliseo. Oh, boy. I think Coliseo as well is a very... Like, I like Coliseo as well. All of these maps have been very comfortable maps for SWOSU Gray. I think the main thing that is just getting SWOSU Gray like in a bind is that they're just kind of like they're not in the mojo. They're doing some things that I think like just isn't like them. They're going for flanks that they don't usually do. They're going for like very interesting like dives that I don't think they normally do. And I think the pressure of just like that of those last two games is just getting to them. I think if they just reset, just think about how they usually play, like have fun, I think they can win this game. So I hope they lock in for game number 4 or 5. Yeah, 4. Gonna see the Ramatra come out with pancakes on the Junkrat instead. No hit scan, which I'm very surprised about. I mean, I think hit scan is really good for this map. Junkrat has really good spam though, which I think is really good. But I think like Junkrat kind of is a very interesting pick for this. But we're gonna see some nice damage down main here, going to force our Ramatra form, and have our own Ramatra form though. But Junkrat pressure is just going to force him out, and that's gonna be a big pick coming out there from Mighty and pancakes right there. And EXO just gonna be able to run it down now, as Mighty is now able to run it down a little bit as well, but going to get pretty low. Going to have to back up a little bit here. Going to get a lot of damage off, but EXO just using all their resources there to really try and keep their tank alive. Just kind of opened up EXO to really just say, nuh-uh, I'm just going to shoot your backline. Which Mighty now is kind of in a very bad spot, but able to take out the mace so he doesn't get a lot of damage. And that's going to be a perfect pulse bomb coming out from EXO right there. That's what I like to see here. I think EXO is doing a great job keeping up the pressure on the backline right now, as you kind of setting off like Ryan to really do a lot of like the heavy DPS, and you're just allowing EXO to really just go in for these dives and just putting on this pressure. Nice, and it looks like they're just going to be setting up here. Going to have some ults here. Going to get a nice tire coming out. Ooh, and going to be able to get a nice pick onto the Bastion right there as well. It looks like they're going to have to find out if they can just keep this pressure going. Going to get a nice pick onto Lucio as well. And that's going to be a Reaper roll coming out. Nice right clicks coming out from Mighty. Going to keep this going. And they do have Ramatra ult though, so you got to watch out. Ramatra's kind of just going to keep walking, and that's going to be more ult as well committed. But you also have your own ult right now, and you're looking for this Moira right now. No fade. Going to just keep that damage going. There we go. Going to be a big ult coming out from Mighty right now. You kind of just got to kite that. Oh, that's a lot of damage you're taking. Yeah, but you don't have enough heals for that. As Ert was going to be down for that fight. But still not bad. Going to get a switch to the Bastion for UHD here. And you still have Pulse Bomb and you have Beat as well for Beat. Going to take a little bit of damage there. Going to try and see if we can find a Pulse Bomb here. But not even a Pulse Bomb. That's still going to be a big pick coming out from EXO right there. Just allowing him to really just walk on their backline this entire time. As like SWOSU just has so much forward pressure, as EXO, again, going to just be able to walk on these people, not able to see much. EXO just finding so many pick after pick, just walking forward. As we see, like, the pressure that, like, Pancakes is getting with this Junkrat allows EXO to kind of just do whatever he wants, because they're all just kind of looking at Pancakes here, as he's just the front forward of pressure. And now they're just going to be able to push this point a little bit more. Going to not have Ramatra form for this, but it doesn't really matter, as you're going to be able to take a pick and a trade, as that's going to be able to find 2. And if you can find that there, another pick as well. Bastion form up top, though, going to have to watch out for that, but I think you still have that, as Bastion's going to get really low. Going to get a big pulse onto on as well. And going to have to back off a little bit, as they're going to have a lot of damage now. But still, a great push coming out here from SWOSU Gray. EXO doing an amazing job just walking forward on them, as they just really don't know what to do about EXO right now. It looks like that's going to be a Bastion ult committed. Going to do a nice right click right there. Going to try and see if he can get some damage right here. That's going to be a Bastion form. Going to have to watch out there. Going to get a nice shield right there, though. And that's going to be a great coalescence coming out from as well, as they're going to just walk on that Bastion. Bastion going to get really low. EXO able to finish up the kill. And they're just going to walk on the Zarya right now, but Mighty's going to get antsied right now. Going to have to watch out. Hold that right click. Going to just keep holding that right click, going to keep himself alive, and that's going to be beat as well, but they're going to commit beat right back, and that's going to be an amazing vortex as well on top of that, and they're going to be able to just keep walking. There we go. A beat for a beat. And Mighty's just going to try and walk on that now, but going to have to back up, going to get a little too antsy. Nice, going to block that off, going to get a lot of damage, going to switch over to the Junkrat instead. Mighty coming up close onto the ult, and that's in a bad position. This Pharah is in a bad position right now. They don't know where the Pharah just went, but you need to watch out, as that is a Zarya in your front line. It's kind of doing a lot of damage. That's going to be a Pharah ult somewhere. Going to be able to find but I mean, if you can stabilize here, actually no, I think you might be dead. Yeah, that's a big sleep coming out from UHD on the Mighty, but that's a Pharah ult and a no Baptiste ult as well. If you can find yourself a good disengage here, you can really just re-engage, and you'll be fine. And look at that. Now you have Mighty's ult on board, but you do have Nano, Junkrat, and Grav here. So you're going to have to watch out. You don't have any big support ults to really keep up after a Grav, but you do have a lot of ground to keep. I like to say you'd have to watch out as well. Wolf's going to have to watch out. But that's going to be a lot of heals, but you do not want to go into that, as that's going to be Grav, Tyre, and Nano. That is all 3 ults committed. That is definitely going to be a team winning ultimates right there. But able to get out, though, still. So that's really good. Able to keep the DPS alive. And you're coming up on a lot of ults here. That is all their ults use, so you can literally just walk on them with a Ramatra ult. I see Pancakes here over onto the Ashe. Going to be able to find a nice dynamite, big dynamite onto that. And there we go. Going to get a nice Ramatra form. And able to find one. Going to have to hold that right click, though, as he's going to get really low. That's going to be a lot of damage. But I think they might be able to find themselves another pick here if they can just walk on this. That's going to be a nice dynamite. Able to find one onto the BAP. Going to have to recall there. But they do stabilize a little bit. Zarya with the bubbles can't really commit pulse bomb unless you know the bubbles are gone. And you're very wary about those bubbles. You just have to play it safe. You do have 3 ults. You're going Monkey now. Monkey and Zarya. I'm kind of confused, but oh, and that's gonna be, you're gonna have to get out of there really quickly. But we do see Monkey diving here, but that's gonna be a big pick onto the my goodness. Onto the Zarya. Going to get them very weak as well, but not going to be able to push forward. Wolf, though, going to push forward. Going to be able to find 1. Pancakes able to find 2. And EXO able to clean it up on the 3rd. Going to be able to get 2nd spawn back. Now going to be going over to the Sigma instead. I do not know why. Zarya is perfect against Winston, but they decide otherwise. And also very good at counter against Tracers. EXO was not able to find much with Pulse Bomb, but now he kind of has the entire roster to really put this Pulse Bomb onto if he really wants to. I'm hoping that he finds himself a nice flank onto the backside. It looks like he might. Oh, a big stick. Big stick. I don't know how he didn't get trapped by the freaking Junkrat trap. Oh, no wall from the Mei. Mei going to get very weak. Junkrat going to go down, and that's going to be a walk onto the Sigma. And that's also going to be Baptiste as well. Going to take him out. The Mei is still behind, but that's a big stall as well for the Mei. And look at that. Going to be able to keep this lead forward. Going to have Bob here, and going to have both support ults online. You're going to have to be careful here as they have support ults as well. That's going to be an amazing pick onto the tire. Going to be a nano Junkrat, and you also have Bob committed right here. Going to see maybe a Junkrat kill here. That's a big Junkrat kill. And we also see Mighty able to take down one as well. Going to fall, but it doesn't really matter as they're just going to keep swaying and swaying as that, I think that's going to be a full push. And there we go. Going to be able to win map 4, baby. Going into map 5 now. Let's go. That's what I like to see. Not GG's yet, my guy. You are 2-2. Now, we're going to be seeing ourselves a very interesting, I think it's hybrid now. I think it is. Going to be getting ourselves our first hybrid, I think, of the, or our second hybrid of the semester, I think. Don't really see a hybrid a lot. So, I wonder what they're going to do. Because this is game 5 now. So this is for all the marbles. You took it to game 5. SWOSU won game 1, lost those last 2 games pretty substantially too. And then just absolute full sweep on game number 4. But we're going to have to see. This push is a completely different game mode than all the other game modes. It literally is its own game mode. So maybe UHD just does not practice push a lot, and maybe just push just isn't their cup of tea. So now we're gonna have to see how is SWOSU going to respond now. I mean, I have another meal to spend, but I don't know. I don't really care. Actually, man, I'm not gonna be able to. Actually, no, I have enough time to use all my meals tomorrow, so I should be good. Yeah, I'll be good. I'll just go and get myself Brahms tonight. But good stuff coming out from SWOSU. Going to be able to get game 4. In a very pretty landslide as well. Like, that's what I like to see. EXO doing a lot of work putting up that frontward pressure. And Pancakes as well. Like, Pancakes being the main DPS, and then EXO just walking forward on them as they all just look in a different direction is just the thing I like to see the most. I think that's what SWOSU really specializes in. I think what SWOSU needs to do is have this idea that UHD does not know how to deal with several pressures at once. So many points of pressure that that they try to focus like one or the other, and then the other, like EXO can just walk on them, Pancakes just walk on it, or Mighty even gets to walk on it sometimes. So it's just insane. Good stuff from SWOSU. Hey. Man. Oh my goodness. So tired. Oh, I'm so tired. So tired. Bolter. Sorry, I was asleep. Bruh. Bolter was in fact asleep. If anyone from the esports Discord know, we love Bolter. We love Bolter. Bolter the GOAT. God, I love Tank so much. Such a good song. Oh my goodness. I wonder. All right, they're taking a sec. It looks like so. Um, until they're ready, I'm just going to be chilling here. I'm gonna set it over to intermission, and I'll be back with you whenever we are back. Hello, everyone, and we are back for the final match of the night for SWOSU Gray versus UHD JV Blue. Sorry for the long wait. We had some discussions we had to make about maps and stuff like that. Both teams, had to settle some stuff, but we are in and ready to go, and it's on Kings Row, the GOAT of all maps. I'm not even capping. Like the GOAT of all maps, and I will die on this hill that this map is the best in the game. I'll die on it. This map is the best in the game. I don't care. I know people say it's overhyped. That this map is mid. I don't care. Midtown is mid. I said it. Midtown is mid, and I'll die on that hill too. But we're looking at ourselves for the definition of a brawl map. This is where I like it. This is what I like. I like when people punch each other in the face, and I like it whenever we get to see it on Kings Row of all the maps, where there's so much diversity you can have in comps, so much diversity in where you go, so much play that comes into this map. I love it a lot. And it looks like SWOSU is going to be running an absolute tank of a bunker comp here. And I'm very excited to see what SWOSU is going to accomplish here. Now we do see UTD running their own version here of a bunker type comp. Or a bunker brawl, I mean. Looks like they're going to get very aggressive here. Going to get some nice damage off of Junkrat. Just going to keep that spray going. Keep that spray going. Just going to try and wall him off. Going to get a nice vortex to slow him down. Are we going to get a wall? No, we are not, as we are going to be playing a little bit more towards main here. And that's going to be vortex, and that's also going to be Wraith form out as well. We have to see how are they going to push in on this. Junkrat's kind of just pushing that. That's going to be a very good early wall coming out. Now going to force out force out a form as well from both. And going to take down Lamp pretty early. Going to place down a nice thing there. Going to get out wall early as well, but that's going to be a very early pick onto EXO there. They're going to have to watch out here, as they're going to have to focus someone here. Going to be a nice vortex again. Going to be a mess up on the wall again, and they might be able to even kill the Ramatra here. No, but that's going to be form coming out, and that's going to be oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. These are ults coming out here. I can't even speak right now. I'm stumbling over my words so much. Mighty going to be able to get Ramatra ult off here, and going to be able to just walk on two, and maybe even walk on a third here, as that's going to be Moira fade out. And we see Pancakes try to find a kill, but not going to be able to get it. That was such a brawly fight. EXO able to find a pick onto Sky there as well. Great stuff. Both committed Moira ult there, but Mighty going to be a little bit more committal with the Ramatra ult this time. Are we going to see a wall off or not here? I wonder. Oh, that's going to be an accidental self-freeze there. Going to have to back up a little bit. But does have Blizzard. Both teams have Blizzard. Both teams have 4 ults here. Or not 4 ults, 3 ults here. And almost coming up a forward for UTD. We're going to see who is going to utilize their ults better first. And that's going to be Freeze. That's going to be a big beat coming out from Wild Wolf there. And that's going to be a nice freeze as well coming out from SWOSU as well. And there we go, able to take down the Ramatra. That's pretty good. And we see here Pancakes having a little bit of a rough time here with this Reaper, but able to get a trap off. Oh my goodness, just able to walk. And there we go. A total reversal right there, as they committed, actually not even that bad. Only committing 2 ults there. And now SWOSU in a little bit of a stumble here, not even having 1 ult. This is going to be a very important push for UTD now, as they have 2 ults on the board and a Bastion now to go with that window. What are they going to do here? I do see a lot of damage over here coming out for Pancakes, as they're kind of just walking on him. It looks like they're going in there. That's a little bit of a bad position for UTD, as that's just going to be Junkrat lane now, and that's going to be committed of Coalescence, but you're going to be able to get a pick there, and they're going to trade, going to have 1 fall, and we're going to see if we can see Junkrat find another pick. just going to throw it out. Going to be able to get a pick onto the Baptiste. That's super big. And just going to be able to punch right through the Orisa. 1, 2, 3, 4. And able to find maybe another pick onto 2 right there. Going to get a nice wall and also a shield right there. Maybe if they could find this pick onto the Reaper, they could really single it out right now. But they have both Mighty and we have Exo's ult on board here. They still have Window though. This is going to be very, very intense for this last fight. But they have 2 very big contesting ults right here. And UTD doesn't really have too much right now. But there we go. There's going to be one. If they can get a big freeze, that's a humongous freeze coming out from Exo right there. But he's just going to go and wrap around. And there we go, going to find a nice wraparound. And just going to pummel. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to be a team kill coming out from SWOSU Gray. Holding it down, getting a full hold right there. 0% for UTD JV Blue. And that is going to be a big start to this game right here. 4 minutes on the clock for SWOSU Gray against 0 on for UTD. This is massive. If one good push coming out from Gray could easily win them this match. What turned from a 1-2 has now escalated to a very dominating 5th game coming out from SWOSU Gray. And I couldn't be more happy. This is looking like a great game for SWOSU Gray. Oh my goodness. And now looking like they're going to be going for a little bit more of a poke-ish comp here, putting Pancakes on the Widow, Exo on the Sojourn, and still running the same support lineup as before. And UTD running a little bit of the same comp that SWOSU Gray ran before, but this time going to be going with the Pharah instead. And honestly, I think Pharah is, Pharah worked before for UTD. I don't think they would think that it wouldn't work with, another time. But at the same time, you're running a Pharah and a Junkrat here on this point when this point has opened to so many possibilities of not just Brawl, but also hit scan. And we're going to see that hit scan maybe come out from Exo here, as now he's going to switch over to the Ashe instead, going for a little bit more Brawly comp here instead. Going to mess up the Dynamite there a little bit, but still going to find these nice headshots. But they notice the Pharah and maybe even switch it up later on. That's going to be pretty even damage across the board here. Going to find some damage over in Hotel, but they're going to have to watch out as that Pharah is just going to snipe down Wild Wolf there. This is going to be a very tough point to really run a Junkrat on unless you already have the Hotel. But that's a lot of damage coming out. If they can focus that Baptiste up top, they might be able to find it, but they're going to find a decent focus onto that Pharah up top. And there we go, going to pop Ramatra form here. As after they popped Ramatra form earlier, going to get a lot of damage done. 9 HP onto Mighty though. He is barely hanging on, but Exo able to find an expert kill onto Sky right there. But Pancake sadly going to fall to dodge first there. But we do see a little bit more as Mighty able to find the big pick onto the Ramatra. Why are you shooting the trap? Oh my goodness. As we see the Baptiste up top still finding a lot of healing right now. If they can find this kill onto the Ramatra though, as now they are pretty up. If they can find this kill onto the Lucio as well. There we go. And now we only have 2 people alive on this point as they have 4. This is looking pretty dominant and going to get there at the last second. But that's going to be it as SWOSU is going to win 3-2 against UTD JV Blue. And that is going to be it right there. Pancakes showing an absolute dominance right there at the end of that map. This was a beautiful pick right here, as not just one, Mighty as well, just doing some amazing cleanup work. And oh my goodness, that was such a beautifully well-played game from SWOSU Gray. And also UHD JV Blue played amazingly as well. Both of these teams very evenly matched on so many good games tonight. I want to thank you all for coming out here and supporting our boys. And I got to go hop down there and go and congratulate them. Thank you all again for stopping by. I think we have Rocket League tomorrow. I don't know for sure, but it's been a pleasure, and I'll talk with you all later.